information. Okay? Alright, so next year is our 5th year of operation. Now, when any school gets to year 5, we really do have a clear vision of what we want the school to be in the future. And we built this school from the first year when we had FS1 to year 4 only. Then the next year, parents persuaded us to open not just year 5, but year 5 and 6. And then the year after, parents persuaded us again to not just open year 7, but open year 7 and 8. So we've grown so much quicker. But it's a good indication of how well we're loved as a school and how well you are doing in this school. And for those of you who haven't guessed it yet or don't know, the result of our inspection 2 weeks ago now was amazing, and the school officially received their overall good rating, and we're absolutely thrilled. But that's because of the children and the way they're learning and the teachers in here. So let's just celebrate. It's amazing. To go up a grade in 11 months from acceptable to good is very rarely heard of, and so I couldn't be more proud of the team that we have here who's managed to create such a wonderful environment for our students. I know you want to just stare at me, I know. Okay, so getting on to, so we've reached this milestone of being a good school. Now the next thing is, what are we going to do to continue the success of the school, and especially in secondary, where you start taking your formal examinations, where it starts to get a lot more difficult, and you have to put in all the extra work, okay? So we're going to talk about how that's going to work, and whether this school is going to meet your needs as parents and the needs of the children. Okay, so, as I've already said, the numbers in the school have gone from 100 in the first year to 200 in the second year, 400 in the third year, and we're up to 472 now, with all of our classes virtually full. So we've literally just expanded year on year. We've grown like a rocket ship, and I know why. It's because of the children and the parents and the teachers that put everything into what they do every day, and we're really proud. And obviously we're really, really proud of the good rating that we got. It wasn't just good, let me say. It was solidly good across every area, and so that's why we're just absolutely thrilled with the inspectors recognising what the children are doing day in and day out. And secondary is especially doing well this year. We're really, really proud of that, and that's down to some of our new staff, our wonderful heads of Maths, English and Science that have come in and transformed the education of the children this year, and we're thrilled for that. Okay, so you'll know, if you have children further down the school, that at the moment, in this year, we have 3 classes in FS2, Year 1 and Year 2. So the number of classes is growing as we go through the school, because last year we only had 2 Year 2 classes. So if everybody stays, automatically we're going to end up with lots more classes every year. Okay? So for Year 4 next year, the Year 3 classes will go into Year 4, so we'll have to have 3 Year 4 classes. The Year 4 will go into Year 5 the year after, so we'll have to have 3 Year 5s, and then the year after that, we'll have to have 3 Year 6s, so that all the way through the school, our vision from FS2 to Year 6 is to have 3 classes every year, as the school grows and the number of children go through the school. Okay? This is going to cause us a little bit of a problem with regards to the size of the school. Because we're not the biggest school, and we're a very boutique school. We like to make sure everyone feels welcome and personalised, and so therefore, with the size of the school, we're going to start feeling a little bit squashed. Because if we move 3 classes from year 6 to year 7 to year 8 to year 9 to year 10 to year 11, we'll be on the grass learning, okay? So we've got to think really strategically about how we're going to grow the school. So, you all know this year, in year 7, we now have 1 class in year 7, 1 class in year 8, and 1 class in year 9. Okay. Why is that usually we go from 2 classes in year 6 to only 1 class in year 7? Now let me explain what tends to happen, parents, and you'll know this, is when children in the British curriculum go from year 6 to year 7, then you have to think really carefully about whether or not the British curriculum is right for your child, because it's very hard. Okay? So that's usually why the numbers reduce from year 6 to year 7. Okay? So, next year, congratulations year 9, next year there will be year 10. So we're moving year 9 into year 10 next year, which is the beginning of your IGCSEs. And we're so excited because you haven't been with the school very long, but you are going to be our first cohort of children that go through next year, year 10, and then the year after into year 11. Okay? So we're planning on taking you guys all the way through to your IGCSEs, and we planned for that. So I don't want you to worry about what's going to happen next year or the year after. We're taking you through to year 11, which is grade 10, right through to your IGCSEs as a guarantee. Bearing in mind, though, as I've already said, we know that the British curriculum is one of the most rigorous and challenging curriculums you can choose for your child, which I have no doubt is the reason why some of you chose it, because of the reputation that we have as a British curriculum school. And sometimes we can spend a lot of time teaching your children, doing intervention, trying to help, but in some situations and some occasions, your child might struggle with the level of challenge of the British curriculum, okay? In year 11, when they do their IGCSEs, that is when they have to do examinations that are really, really tough. And different to other curriculums, every single grade that they get just depends on that final exam or examinations. There's no teacher judgment, okay? There's nothing that they can do in the form of coursework or anything along that. They sit and do examinations, and their whole schooling up until then is based on the examinations that they do at the end of year 11. Not only that, but what happens is that we have to follow examination board rules, which are very, very strict, which is why already we take year 7, 8 and 9 and bring them into here, the auditorium, to do their formal examinations. Because they have to sit and they have to focus and they have to concentrate without looking around, without doing anything. It's very, very strict. Okay. When they do their IGCSEs, no matter where you are in the world, you all do them at exactly the same time as well, and the same date. So they send the papers to you, you have to lock them up, you give them to them, the children spend an hour and a half writing their exams and then send them off. So it's quite an intense process to pass your IGCSEs. The other thing that I want to make really, really clear, within the British curriculum, We never, unless we have to, we never hold children back. And you'll know that. So every year, if you're in year 6, the next year you go into year 7. And the year after you go into year 8. You do not have to pass in any way to progress. The only time you might not progress is if you haven't been here very much and haven't actually been attending school. Okay? So, when we promote a child from year 6 to year 7, in the British curriculum, it doesn't necessarily mean they're on track to pass all of their IGCSEs. It just means we're not going to keep them behind, and we're going to keep pushing them and pushing them to the last minute. But I want to make it very clear that every time a child moves from year 6 to year 7 and year 7 to year 8, it doesn't necessarily mean they're on track to pass all their IGCSEs. It just means we're keeping them with their friends and we'll keep working with them as long as we can. Okay? And that's really important for you to understand. To get your high school diploma or the equivalent, which means you pass high school, the following needs to happen. And you all need to please understand or ask about this. So it doesn't matter which school you're in the whole of the UAE. These things have to happen for your child to get their equivalent of a high school diploma and pass high school. So first of all, they have to have done 12 years of schooling. Okay? Now, for most, that's not a problem. But that goes, and we have to make sure 12 years have happened since they started until when they finish. The second thing that has to happen in any school is that if you are a Muslim student, you have to pass Islamic. Okay? Also, if you're an Arabic first language speaker, you have to pass Arabic. It doesn't matter what school you're in, if it's an American curriculum school, a UAE school, a CBSE school, these 3 things you have to get your high school diploma, okay? The other thing you need to get in a British curriculum school, for the UAE only, you have to pass 5 IGCSEs. Grades A star to E, or, and some of them have changed, the grade 9, 2 or 3. Okay? So you have to pass 5 IGCSEs at this level. And you have to pass either 2 AS levels, which is the first year of an A level, or 1 A level. So by the time they finish here, not here, because we're only ever going to go to year 11 here, okay? We don't have room for more. But by the time they finish year 13, they have to have this as part of their suite of qualifications to be able to get the equivalent of a high school diploma, okay? Now, actually, for most of our children to get this, it's not difficult, because the grades only go to A star to G and 9 to 1. So most of them should be okay with their IGCSE. And to be honest, most of them will be okay about the 2 AS levels, first year of A level, and 1 A level. Most of them will be fine. But what I need to tell you is that most schools, British curriculum schools, will not let you continue on to A level unless you get either a B grade in your IGCSE or a 6 in your IGCSE in that subject area. So for example, when you get to A level, which is year 12 and year 13, you can choose whatever subjects you want. Anything you want to do in the British curriculum. You don't have to do math anymore, you don't have to do English, you don't have to do science. But whatever you choose to do, you have to have done really well in the IGCSE. Which means you've got to have got a grade B or a 6. So if you want to continue to do French, for example, in IGCSE, you have to have got a grade B or a 6 to take on the A level in French. So getting from IGCSE to A level in most schools is the tricky part, because you've got to have done really well in that subject area. Some schools now offer what's called a BTEC Level 3 diploma. We won't be offering that here because it's skills-based. It's for children who are more practical-minded, and now they accept a BTEC as the equivalent of 5 IGCSEs. But we won't be doing it. I just want you to know that that is something other British curriculum schools offer. Okay. So with all that in mind, what do we want our Key Stage 4 curriculum to look like here? Now, Key Stage 4 is year 10 and 11. So the next 2 years for year 9, what are we going to offer you in order for you to make sure you're as successful as you possibly can be? So you will see here that the period allocation will be this for next year. Now, you cannot change the number of Arabic, Islamic and moral education, that's set. We can't change those. But you will see that there will be 8 periods of English next year for year 10, 8 periods of mathematics, but you'll also see that there will be biology, chemistry and physics next year for the year 9s going into the year 10s. This is not you year 6s, this is year 10 next year. Okay? So, please, hold on. Please bear in mind, when we move from year 9 to year 10, there is going to be this extra focus on sciences, maths and English, because that's what this school vision is for our students. Okay? And I'm just telling you now so you can be sure that this is the right school, but our focus is going to be science, maths and English, moving on into IGCSEs. However, you will notice that doing separate biology, chemistry and physics means that 15 periods a week will be spent on science. So we need to make sure that they're going to be able to cope with that science curriculum. This is where year 10 next year, or year 9 this year, find out the only way we can cover the curriculum is to extend your day next year. Yeah, more time in school! Dorsa, I know you're very happy about that. Okay? So, in order for us to make sure your children are successful, we will be increasing the day for year 10 and 11 in future to finish at 4 o'clock. Okay? Ooh! Okay, let me explain why. Okay. I need to explain why. It's to make sure you get as many IGCSE choices as possible. Because if you look at this, it's very centered on the maths, the science and the English, and we want to give you a broader option later on. So we're going to have 2 periods that are going to be more independent study. Now, for example, year 9, you're going to be able to choose what to do on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday for periods 9 and 10. So you can choose, for example, on Monday, to do an extra IGCSE in English language, English literature. Or, if you don't want that extra IGCSE, we're going to give you additional English as a second language support. So we're either going to give you more options or more support with one of the options you're already doing. Okay? And that will happen every day. So if you want to do higher mathematics or additional mathematics support on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, history IGCSE as an additional one, or additional science support. So depending on how we think you can cope and what you would like to do will depend on how your timetable works after school for the others on Monday to Thursday. This means that if you choose the higher pathway with the most number of IGCSEs, you can do up to 10 IGCSEs, which is very normal in the UK curriculum. In fact, in the UK, everybody does at least 8. So the higher ones are going to do 8, and you can, if you choose the lower pathway, end up doing higher one is 10, the lower is 8, with additional support after school. So everybody in here should end up getting at least 8 IGCSEs based on this curriculum pathway. It's challenging, we know, but what we're doing is thinking about getting the absolute best out of you and using the British curriculum the way it was intended to really push you and challenge you throughout the next 2 years for Year 9 and the future for the rest. What does that mean though? Because if we're moving from Year 6 to one class of Year 7, how are we going to actually make sure we are taking with us the children that can cope with this level of challenge? Alright? So, we are going to be looking at making sure we take from Year 6 the ones that are going to be able to cope with this real high level of challenge. So we're going to be looking at test scores and progress test results and CAT4s and all of the results that come in for the children. With communication with parents, we're going to be looking at which of the students are going to be able to go into secondary and follow this pathway that's really challenging. Because we want this school to continue to be successful, but also to make sure everyone realises this is an elite British curriculum school that is going to really, really push the children in the future and get them what they need to be really successful in their careers for the rest of their lives. So we're going to make the decisions with your help on how we're going to take the people through who are going to be up for the challenge for the next 5 years when they go into Year 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. You will have noticed that the future we're only ever going to be able to fit into this school one class in each of the year groups in secondary. So we're only ever going to be able to have 1 Year 7, 1 Year 8, 1 Year 9, 1 Year 10 and 1 Year 11. Okay? Because we know that's the time where a lot of students are struggling with the challenge, so we need to make sure that we focus all our energy on the children that we have. It will mean, and I'm going to be open and honest with you, it's going to have to be co-ed all the way through. And I know some people have already asked me about that. But it's the only way we're going to be able to offer your children IGCSEs in a school of this size. So it's something for you to think about and consider. So if you're a parent of Year 6, what are you going to do right now? What are you going to think about how we're going to be sure that your child, if they want to continue here, gets a place, one of those 25 cherished places for next year? Well, my suggestion is apply now, okay? Have conversations with homeroom teachers, have conversations with the science teachers, the math teachers, the English teachers. Find out from them whether they feel your child is going to cope with this secondary journey. Alright? If you re-enroll and you pay your deposit and something goes wrong and you decide to move your child to another school, we will refund your deposit. Don't worry about that. I just want to make that really, really clear. We're not going to take your money and then you don't get a place and we'll keep it. I just want you to be sure that before you think about re-enrollment next year, that you are certain that this pathway is going to be the right one for your child. Because it's very, very challenging, as we've always done in this school. So that's really the future of secondary. A lot of things to process and to think about, I know, so that you are, because I want to be just completely open with you. I don't want to offer you something and you say, that's not what she said. I want to just tell you now, this is what the future is, so that we can continue to grow as a school. Because we can't have 3-year 7s, 3-year 8s, 3-year 9s, 3-year 10s, 3-year 11s, because we don't have the space. So we want to make it really elite and move forward with really high challenge for the students. I know a lot will be going through your mind at the moment, but we have a special guest and a visitor come in who's got all of 2 minutes to have a conversation with you quickly about what we're also offering with regards to the Sheikh Sultan Award. I'll let Sylvia do the introductions. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Christine. That was very well explained. Let me introduce Mr. Sean. He is joining us today. He will be briefing us about His Highness Sheikh Sultan Award. I know we are running out of time, but I'm sure Mr. Sean will do his best to clarify about this wonderfully designed, well-rounded program for each one of you, mainly for our year 8 and 9 students at the moment, but it does have an age limit. But Mr. Sean will be briefing a bit more about it in detail.
Thank you, Ms. Sylvia. Thank you. Can I have a pointer? Do we have? To the side. Nice to meet you all. My name is Sean. I'm coming from the Sheikh Sultan Award. I'm going to tell you very, very briefly today about a really exciting opportunity. You've heard from your teachers and leadership today a lot of important curriculum and academic information. I'm really excited to tell you about something that's non-academic, outside of the realm of the usual classroom experience, and it's a really prestigious award program from His Highness Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammed Al Qasimi himself. I'll just wait for the presentation, and we'll try to make it as quick as possible, because I know everyone's eager to get home as close to 2:30 inshallah as possible. Okay, as I mentioned, my name is Sean. I come from the office of the Sheikh Sultan Award, and we're really proud to offer you a personal challenge. We're really proud to offer you a personal challenge from His Highness Sheikh Sultan himself. And what he wants is to challenge all of the youth from every nationality of the UAE, all 7 Emirates, to invest time in their personal efforts outside of the classroom and push themselves out of their comfort zone in the fields of adventure, volunteering, skills, and fitness. So I'm going to focus on the first 2 today, adventure and volunteering, because I think this is a really exciting opportunity for the City International School to combine the Sheikh Sultan Award for a few very lucky students. The Sheikh Sultan Award is open. It's a national award program open to all nationalities. Our only requirements are that students are aged 12 to 18. That's our only requirement. You can actually begin working more at age 12. We were really proud in our last ceremony. Please have a look at our Instagram page if you would like to see a video of this. I'll just wait for everyone's attention, please. You can tell I used to be a teacher before my current job. And we're really proud to have 34 different nationalities receive the award in our last ceremony in December. And we have a really nice integration from both public and private schools all over the country in all 7 Emirates. We have 3 awards, 3 award levels: bronze, silver, and gold. And you can start wherever you like, but I'm working very closely with Ms. Sophia in the secondary school to focus as a starting point in the bronze award. And what this will involve is a 2-night camp and 20 hours of volunteering. If the students can prove that they've completed this through an accredited organization and with relevant certificates and evidence, they are invited to take place in the award, and they will receive the bronze level award. I need to highlight really, really importantly that this is a non-competitive award. It's open for every single youth all over the UAE. So if 500 students receive it, His Highness gives 500 awards. If 5,000 students complete it, he gives 5,000 awards. In adventure, you will need to go on an adventure camp. This is a really important time to be away from your parents. I'm looking at the students as I say that. To be away from your parents and to be with your friends and colleagues at school and to try something new, try something that you wouldn't usually do in your everyday. That could involve something like hiking, cycling, swimming, rafting, depending on the context. And I must add, the adventure camp must be in a tent, no hotels, no cabins. The whole point of the award is to get out of your comfort zone and to try something new. 20 hours of volunteering could be anything to help people, the environment, or animals. Anything to make your community, we all live in this wonderful country, to make it a better place for others. Consider ourselves volunteering. You may do this as a program with the school or an external charity organisation. In the essence of time, I'm going to skip past the skills and fitness section because they apply to silver and gold levels only. But please have a look at our Instagram and website if you'd like more information on this. The City International School will be participating in the next cycle of the award, inshallah, and it's open to students aged 13 to 18. They can begin working on it at age 12. The only requirement is to have a valid Emirates ID, a UAE residence, and that they are 18 by the time they submit, which I don't think is a problem for us at City International School. I'm going to keep it pretty short. That's a really quick introduction. I could talk for hours on all the benefits of the award, but if you'd like to be a part of this, you're going to have some communication from your head of secondary very soon about which year groups and which students can be invited to participate, what it will look like. As an award program ourselves, we don't charge anything. It's supplied completely free of cost and from charge of government. However, it is important to know about it to the parents, as I said this, that obviously adventure camps will incur some sort of charge depending on the provider and how the school runs this. This was our award ceremony in December. We awarded 545 successful applicants, and a big bonus of the award. You're invited to His Highness's house in the palace, Al Luthi Palace, and he puts on an award ceremony, speeches and thank yous for all the students who take part in a really prestigious moment and highlight of any student's career, and something that looks really good for any university CV job application, of course, is a big highlight. I don't like to come here and not give anything away, so I have one question for students and one question for parents. Let's do students first. How many hours do you need to complete your volunteering for bronze level? Yes, please. 20 hours, first prize. And for the parents, how many different nationalities received the award for Sheikh Sultan? Yes, sir? 30 plus. Sorry? I'll give it. It was 34. There you go. Thank you. And one more for the students. No, you have to put your hands down. I haven't asked the question yet. Hands down. I won't give it to someone with hands up. How many days and nights must you complete the adventure camp for bronze level? Yes, please. Yes. Right here. Yes, go. Give me your answer. Yes. No. No, not correct. Right over here. No. Well done. Thank you so much. I'm going to hand back to Sonia. That's a very quick introduction, but lots more information on our Instagram and more information to come.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sean.